Hello friends, in my previous video lecture we have seen what is analytic function and what is Cauchy-Riemann equations. Today we will see some problems based on Cauchy-Riemann conditions. Right? The first problem is prove that the function e to the power x cos y plus iota sin y is a regular function and find its derivative. Okay, so we know that f of z is equal to u plus iota v. This is the standard form of any function, and we have given that f of z is equal to e to the power x cos y plus iota sin y. Right? Now we compare the real and imaginary parts of both the function. Then we will get u is equal to e to the power x cos y and v is equal to e to the power x sin y. Right? Now we differentiate this function partially with respect to x. So del u by del x will get e to the power x cos y, the same function. Again we differentiate this function partially with respect to y, then we will get minus e to the power x sin y. Right? Similarly, v is this. We differentiate v with respect to x partially, then we will get e to the power x sin y. Now again we differentiate v partially with respect to y, then we will get e to the power x cos y. Okay. Now you can see here these two values are equal, e to the power x cos y and e to the power x cos y. That means here we can see del u by del x is equal to del v by del y, right? And del u by del y is equal to minus of del v by del x. You can verify here, okay? So del u by del y is equal to minus of del v by del x. That means Cauchy-Riemann conditions are satisfied. So this function is analytic, okay, which shows that this given function is analytic. Or regular. Now we have to find its derivative. During the proof of Cauchy-Riemann condition, we have seen that f dash z is equal to del w by del z, which is equal to del w by del x or del w by iota del y. Okay, the value will be same whether you differentiate it with respect to x, either with respect to y and divide it by iota. Right? So for sake of convenience, we take this value. We find derivative by using del w by del x. So we have del w by del x, f dash z is equal to del w by del x. Now we resolve this w as u and iota v. Then we get del u by del x plus iota del v by del x. Okay. Now put the values of del u by del x. Del u by del x is, we can see here, e to the power x cos y, and del v by del x is e to the power x sin y. Okay, so we take values from here and we will get e to the power x cos y plus iota e to the power x sin y, or taking e to the power x as common, it will come cos y plus iota sin y, or e to the power x, we know the value of this is e to the power iota y, because e to the power iota theta is cos theta plus iota sin theta. We know this, okay? So we can write it e to the power x plus iota y, right? Or e to the power z also. right? So this is the derivative of this function. Now we see one more example by using polar form of Cauchy-Riemann condition, right? The problem is, if n is real, if n is real, show that r to the power n cos n theta plus iota sin n theta is analytic everywhere except r is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1, right? And its derivative is n r to the power n minus 1 cos n minus 1 theta plus iota sin n minus 1 theta. Okay. Now we see the solution. Here the function w is given, w or fz, whatever, because we are using the polar form, so it's better to take w. W is given as r to the power n cos n theta plus iota sin n theta, right? And we know that the function is, standard form of function is w is equal to u plus iota v. Now we compare the real and imaginary parts, then we will get u is equal to r to the power n cos n theta and v is equal to r to the power n sin n theta. Okay. Now we differentiate u with respect to r, then we will get n r to the power n minus 1 cos n theta. We are differentiating partially with respect to r, keeping theta as constant. Then again we differentiate this function partially with respect to theta, taking r as constant. Then we will get r to the power n. By differentiating this, we will get n minus sin n theta, or which can be written as minus n r to the power n sin n theta. Okay. Similarly, we differentiate this v with respect to r partially, then we get n r to the power n minus 1 sin n theta. Now we differentiate v partially with respect to theta, then we will get r to the power n cos n theta, or we can write n r to the power n cos n theta. Okay. Now we see that del u by del r is equal to 1 by r del v by del theta. You can check here, if we divide this value by r, we will get the same value, right? And del u by del theta is equal to minus r del u by del r. Del u by del theta, if we multiply this value with minus r, we will get the same value. Okay. So you can verify here, del u by del r is equal to 1 by r del v by del theta, and del u by del theta is equal to minus r del u by del r, which are nothing, actually they are polar form of Cauchy-Riemann conditions. So we can see we can say that Cauchy-Riemann conditions are satisfied. Hence the given function is analytic. Now in our previous video lecture we have seen that dw by dz is equal to cos theta minus iota sin theta del w by del r. You can find the link of my previous video lecture below in the description box. So putting the values, we have cos theta minus iota sin theta, and this del w by del r can be written as del u by del r plus iota del v by del r. We can take both the values from here, right? Del u by del r and del v by del r. Put these values here. So we have cos theta minus iota sin theta and r to the power n minus 1 cos n theta plus iota and r to the power n minus 1 sin n theta. So we take this common and r to the power n minus 1, and we will have cos theta minus iota sin theta into cos n theta plus iota sin n theta, and which gives the value of cos n minus 1 theta plus iota sin n minus 1 theta. Okay, so this is the value of derivative. Now we can verify, we can see here this function is analytic, right? But when we put n is equal to 1 and we take r is equal to 0, when we take r is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1, this function will give the form of 0 to the power 0 from this term, okay, which is indeterminate form. So at this point we cannot have any derivative of this function. So this function is not analytic where r is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1, right? So now we see one more problem. We should always keep in mind that every analytic function will satisfy Cauchy-Riemann conditions, right? But every function which satisfies Cauchy-Riemann equation need not to be analytic. So we can see a third example. Show that the function f of z is equal to square root of mod of x dot y is not analytic at origin, is not analytic at origin, although Cauchy-Riemann conditions are satisfied at this point. That point means origin. Okay. Now we see the solution. Our function is given f of z. The given function is f of z is equal to square root of mod of x dot y. And standard form of function is f of z is equal to u plus iota v. Again we compare the real and imaginary part. So we can see here in this function there is no imaginary part, no term with iota. Okay, so u is equal to square root of mod of x dot y and v is equal to 0. Okay, now we take derivative for this function at origin. So del u by del x is equal to limit x tends to 0 u of x 0 minus u of 0 0 upon x minus 0 by definition of differentiability. We put x is equal to x and y is equal to 0 in this function u of x0. Then what we get? U of x0 will get 0. U of 0 0 means put x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. Again we will get 0. So it will come 0. Right? Again we take del u by del y. So del u by del y limit y tends to 0 u of y0 minus u of 0 0 divided by y minus 0 by definition of differentiability. The same we will get 0 minus 0 by y is equal to 0. Similarly, we differentiate v with respect to x. We are taking partial derivative here. So limit x tends to 0 v of x0 minus v of 0 0 divided by x minus 0. Because v is 0 here, the value of v is 0, so definitely it will come out as 0. And del v by del y limit y tends to 0 v of y0 minus v of 0 0 y minus 0. It is again 0 because v is 0. So we can see here all the values are 0. So del u by del x is equal to del v by del y and del u by del y is equal to minus of del v by del x. So we can say Cauchy-Riemann conditions are satisfied. Okay. But we see the function, if function is analytic. Okay. If for any function which is analytic, the derivative must be unique. Okay. Regardless of the path, which path we are following. Suppose we are taking derivative of this function along the straight line y is equal to mx. Okay. So we take derivative of this function along y is equal to mx. Okay. At origin, we are taking at origin, right? So we must get unique derivative when z tends to 0. Okay. So we check it. If we put y is equal to mx, then what will be value of z? X plus iota y. put the value of y here, it will come out x plus iota mx. And what will be the value of fz, our function, which is square root of mod of x dot y. Put y is equal to mx here, so we get square root of mod of x into mx, or we can write it square root of mx square. Right? Now we take derivative of this function along z is equal to 0. So limit z tends to 0, f of z0 minus f of 0 0 divided by z minus 0. Put the values here. F of z0 means y is we are taking this value, f of z0, then it will come as this mod. So it will come as square root of mod of mx square. This is 0, and the value of z is this, x plus iota m x. Okay. After simplifying this value, we will get square root of mod of m divided by 1 plus iota m. Because this x will common, we can take this x square root of x square as common. Okay, x, and this x will cancel these two x. Okay, or you can write it like this also. This will cancel each other and we will get 1 plus iota m. Now we see the value of this f dash z depends upon this m. Okay, so we can say that f dash z depends upon value of m, where m is arbitrary constant, right? Now we change if we change the value of m, the value of this function derivative will also be changed, but our derivative should be unique for analytic function. So we can say derivative of fz is not unique. Okay, so the function is not analytic. So the given function is not analytic. Okay, so we can say that every analytic function satisfies Cauchy-Riemann conditions, but every function which satisfies Cauchy-Riemann conditions need not to be analytic. Okay, in next lecture we will see Milne-Thomson method. Thank you.